my name is Yasmin and I'm a current senior at Northeast High School. So today I'll be discussing about how there are some components of racism within our society that actually impact some communities' ability to access clean and safe water. The COVID-19 pandemic has worsened America's water crisis while hitting communities of color the hardest. There are systematic barriers such as redlining, work discrimination, and even unregulated pollution that are standing in the way of affordable and safe water for millions of individuals, especially Black, Indigenous, and communities of color.
To start with the definition of redlining, it is an example of an institutionalized racism. It is also a process where banks and other institutions would actually deny offering mortgages or would offer bad rates to customers based on that customer's race or ethnic background. Now, the consequences of this is that it hinders the economic development within neighborhoods that are populated with minorities, since it restricts entry of investments and immobilizes the market of houses in the areas that are impacted. Therefore, you would find that the communities would be impoverished economically, making their ability to access clean water become more difficult. Next up, we have work discrimination. Now, the definition of work discrimination is when an employer actually discriminates against an employee regarding work-related decisions such as firing, hiring, availability of benefits, and even promotions. Now, the issues that arises from this is that minorities have the highest chance of losing their jobs if not protected by a union or another source, which would make their unemployment statistics skyrocket, especially during this pandemic. There are millions of families who are struggling to make ends meet, which includes paying for expensive water bills. While some states' water utilities have refrained from shutting off the water, those protections may not last long and may expire soon. Now, the third component is unregulated pollution. Some industries and the federal government have neglected to frequently regulate the pollution that is building up in water sites, causing those polluted water to enter the homes of families. Their water is dirty and not chemical or lead-free. It is essential that this issue is recognized and resolved, especially during this time. During this unprecedented time, hand washing has become the essential mechanism utilized to help fight the coronavirus. There are 30 million citizens and residents in the USA, which is about 10% of the population, who are living in fear that they can't practice this precaution without harming themselves. They would be exposing themselves to lead, which is poisonous, and chemicals that can be lethal. Now, you might be asking yourselves, what must be done? And how can I help? Well, there are 3 steps that must be taken. The first step is that the nation institutes a halt on water shutoffs and implements a water affordability program so that families won't be forced to choose between having clean water or other necessities. The second step is the Water Justice Act must be passed, which would invest in communities that have faced environmental injustices for decades and set a $10 billion water affordability program while investing $220 billion into plans that would help to clean water. Now, the third step is for you. You can research and donate to organizations that would assist minorities or low-income families with paying their bills. You can also help fund projects that helps families set filters which would actually purify their water.
And now, as I am closing this presentation, I would like to remind you that this is a dire time for a change. To make that change happen, we must fight for it together. Thank you.